We're going to make September a big deal to start telling people that these programs matter. First of all, the government and the government help, the taxpayer help, is important. But one of the things that I hear across the state is, well, whatever happened to charity, okay? We don't want public dollars to crowd out private charity. There is a great need for people to continue to charitably give to help other people to do better. And so we want to tell people in the churches and in the communities and all these folks that say, well, why do we have to rely on the government? Why don't we just rely on ourselves? Okay, well, you got a shot at it now. Help these people to have more resources to carry out their job. There's a guy named Marvin Olasky that wrote a book, I don't know, I think it's written, I don't know how many years ago, I might have read it about 20 years ago. And he talked about this public help crowd out private charity. In other words, people feel like, I don't have to do anything. If you go and you talk to churches, they will tell you they can't carry this burden on their own. But they're important. They're an important role, not just the churches and the synagogues, but civic organizations can play a very large part. So going forward, when it comes to these programs, really want a partnership. We want a partnership with taxpayer funded. There is no government money, it's taxpayer money that we can distribute. But we also need help from those citizens out there that have had blessings so that they in fact can be, that they can realize their hopes and dreams as well. So we want to spread the word. My wife just did a PSA for those in television. Put it on the air, please. Your ratings will go up. And let me introduce our Joan of Arc here, Lisa Hamler.
Thank you, Governor.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for coming today. Representing the Ohio Association of Food Banks, Ohio's largest charitable response to hunger. We serve the 12 Feeding America food banks, which serve all Ohio's 88 counties. Many of the food banks that are joining me here today, and we'd like to thank the governor for his leadership for hunger relief in the state of Ohio, and also recognize his wonderful staff of the governor's office of faith-based and community initiatives, as well as Representative Ryan Smith and Representative Derrickson, both who have had personal experiences with the backpack program. Those of us who work in hunger relief hear the stories every day of Ohioans struggling with the threat of hunger every day. We listen to them speak about the impossible choices that they have to make between paying bills, buying medicine, and purchasing food. We talk to hardworking parents like Spencer, who told us that he works full-time, but he is still relying on the local food pantry for help and considering moving back in with his relatives in order to make ends meet. We talked to adults like Adam, who are living with a disability, who told us that he tries his very best to live on his budget, but sometimes he runs out of food and has to come to the local soup kitchen for meals. We talked to older adults like Kitty, who told us about how difficult it is for her and her husband to afford nutritious food on their fixed incomes without help from the local food bank. Our work to provide food and other resources to people in need relies on partnerships, faith-based and community-based organizations, government agencies, our elected officials, corporations, foundations, and individuals. We are all in this together. We must work to solve hunger, the alarm that is alarmingly increasing. We are joining with Governor Kasich for the proclamation declaring September as Hunger Action Month in a continued effort to unite Ohioans from all walks of life in our mission to provide the most basic of all human need, food, to people like Spencer, Adam, and Kitty, and the millions more like them. The Governor and the First Lady have provided unprecedented support for hunger relief during their tenure. Since donating the remaining campaign proceeds to the Weekend Meals Program, Governor Kasich has supported an increase in funding for the Ohio Food Program and Agriculture Clearance Programs within the state budget and has issued 5 executive orders in supporting Ohio's food banks and hunger relief. These executive orders provided funding for innovative feeding programs for children, additional funds for our agriculture clearance program, which directs surplus Ohio-grown and raised foods to hungry farmers, or to hungry people, and farmers market distributions for low-income families. Additionally, Governor Kasich has went a step further and provided flexibility within his most recent executive order to allow food banks, for the first time ever, to purchase non-food items such as personal care, personal hygiene, household cleaning items, infant formula, and diapers. Items that are so necessary, but often unaffordable for our low-income families. Beyond these contributions, both have lent their voice to the issue as well. The First Lady is currently leading a statewide campaign called Feed Ohio to raise food and funds and to provide nutritious, wholesome food for our hungry brothers and sisters. Feed Ohio runs through September 11th, and those interested can find out more by visiting www.ohiofoodbanks.org/Feed Ohio to get involved. But too often, our hungry friends and neighbors are also struggling to afford other basic health care and manage chronic diseases. 42% of those we serve report having to choose between food and paying for medicine or medical care.